Good afternoon. I'm um, I'm making a stream and I have a little bit different setup now than I had before, and it's coming from- there's some kind of pop-up there now. Oh, let's see. Okay, I think it's fine now. So yeah, I'm not streaming from my like computer or my like computer desk, but I'm streaming from like living room chair now, so it's a little bit of hassle now to see how this works out. Should be fine. I'm a little bit worried also about because I'm on Wi-Fi now instead of the kind of like landline or whatever. So I wonder how that works out. Let's go here. Okay. Take that there. And yeah. And then we're gonna see lobster. Oh, okay. Just click that a few times. Okay, that should work. Mhm. That there. So it's been like I checked that it's been like 3 weeks since I last had a stream about this project. On the website project that I have about this kind of extinction risk visualization website, and maybe a short preface that I'm making this mainly to create some kind of PowerPoint presentation of this sketch of this website to apply funding for the website. That's kind of like the main goal now, but it's also about planning the site. I'm gonna actually try to move this. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. See how this works there. A little bit worried I'm gonna push down the mic. So is this? Yeah, it should be. Okay. Yeah, I hope this doesn't change anything. Yeah. Um, yeah. So what I've been wondering lately or planning lately is I have some like sketches here on like the UI and especially like the graphical element here or the graph portion where it shows the extinction risk probabilities and survival risk probabilities, and also the kind of like the welfare measure of what's kind of like the expected value of um, how many years does the mankind have left. That's kind of like the main thing here that we are measuring. So user can here's like the input area here in between this graph, and the user can change these values here and they will show the also kind of like the values in the graph and kind of like the intermediate values between the chosen values for the different time periods, and then it also shows this resulting expected life years. So here's like some sketches here about some of these are kind of like overlapping and some are not. See here. Yeah, this is the one I did like lately. Lately I've been thinking about maybe one word about the graph. These two graphs that I have here, like the top graph is for showing showing like these different time scales and the values that they can have, like values for the different time scales. And the bottom graph it's kind of like this top graph has kind of like a logarithmic scale, so it's like some different color. Like here we have like a 10-year scale, 100-year scale, 1,000-year scale, and 10,000-year scale, and so on. And the user can choose like how far they go with these scales. And yeah, it's a logarithmic thing. And here we have the linear thing. It's the same. It's showing the same content, but in this linear manner. And I think it's good to have this both, because the top graph is better at showing like your selections and condensing multiple time scales to one graph, but then the bottom graph is better at showing like the well, kind of like the reality, or how much more significant these long time scales are, and also that even if we make choices only in the long run, it will have like only in the short run it will have like big long run effects. So the main motivation for the site is to show that our actions in the short run have like very big long-term consequences. So lowering these extinction risks in our lifetime has very big welfare impacts on the welfare impacts. They are bigger the longer the time scales, and they can affect like Gonna check out something here in between. Okay. This one. Okay. So let's continue. And I was thinking here, maybe one thing that now caught my eye is that here I would also like to have. This could also be nice to make the point that we start at 100% survival rate. That this is like the present moment. Maybe this could be just dubbed present time, and we have a like a let's have here something more meaningful like 0.2. I don't know. So these are here in the higher row. These are the annual extinction risk probabilities, and I think like in 2025 we probably have it a little bit lower than in 2035. And I've been thinking like maybe one major choice that I have to make here in making the site is that do I want to show these because and these lower ones here, they show the kind of like the survival probabilities. The colors are now way off for this sketching because I've been making a little bit like running a little bit around with that, but the bottom lines show the kind of like the survival probability by some year, and it's kind of like a result of those annual extinction probabilities and previous survival probabilities. So it's quite logical that for it is like it's set for some year, but then this annual extinction probability is a little bit more tricky because the other thing, let's see if I have here the examples for that. They're kind of like for the other. Okay, maybe this is the other way to do it is like to have here between these years. So this would be like now for this whole time scale, this extinction risk probability, and here it is higher here. So but then what I was showing just now before here, that it is set for a specific year, and then you would have to, if you have it set for a specific year, then how does it connect between those years? So, and it's also a little bit tricky, I think, like representing it in this logarithmic scale. Like if you have a linear progress from this, like whatever is the probability in 2025, if you have a linear progression to 2035 to that probability, then these probabilities in between, they will be like gradually reaching the new level, but it's a little bit tricky to show it here because the time scale is logarithmic, so it would be I think it would go a little bit like this, like we have here, instead of like a straight line. So that's a little bit tricky. You could also choose like to have a have a like logarithmic progression or whatever, but or like a make it other way around. Like I think there could be like three chances or like three different ways to like some ways you can like mm, you can like show how we reach that level, and I think like the probability for this is for this like the actual probability for extinction or this kind of like how would you say it like extinction risks for civilization. Here are some other. So I think it's lower here and it gets higher like kind of like this annual probability gets higher. I think these might be a little bit too high numbers, but I think they are actually like less than a 1%. Yeah, I think I should maybe also in this example just use a little bit more conservative estimates just to not give like a too wrong of an impression, but it's probably like still it's probably like quite a bit higher in 2035 or and also I think like uh in 2125 it's it's a bit higher like so yeah, but maybe I wonder if it's how easy it is for the users to get a grasp of this like making these trajectories between the years and thinking about in these terms, or is it easier to think about just in terms of like putting just like constant values between the timescales, but then it gets a little bit tricky when there's big differences between timescales. So I don't like these kind of like transition periods where it actually happens that there's this transition to this new value over time. So we kind of like lose a lot of the finesse for simplicity here. So there's balance to be had, and like basically I can do this uh, by having the option to choose like what do you want to have, but I think that I wonder how much of extra work that brings to me, and maybe at least for this kind of like grant planning sketching I should probably stick to just one of these. And yeah, so now I'm thinking like which one it would be and which is kind of like maybe which one is easier to understand for the grant for the organizations that give these grants out. And also I'm thinking now that this is also for just UI's perspective, this might be better to have it in same settings as these um, oh, I just thought of one thing. One very big benefit of having it here in between the years is that I can show the math here below these values. So I think it would be nice to have here like I'm a little bit wondering like how do I show it, but I could have, because this value here it's a result of this value and then the probabilities for destruction between those years. And if I have like I have a 10-year interval here, it's gonna like a 100%, or let's go like just 1 multiplied by 1 minus then you take this probability here, so you have 0.0021 and to the power of 10. I think that's how you get this to this number if you have this, but this requires to have a constant extinction rate over here, so we have like this 0.21. It's a little bit tracked. 0.21% value here. So now if we have this instead, that we have this value that changes it over time, we cannot have this kind of like simplified calculation. So that brings a little bit of a problem here. So maybe it would be better to have like even if it's a little bit simple, but it can also, like, if I want to show the math here, like I was thinking like I could show the math under, if I have this here percentage, like what is the now I'm just like, is it easier to think, like you don't have to think about this so much if you gonna like yeah. Okay. Yeah, this could be like, I could also have in the, yeah, it's a I think like quite a big decision to make, and I also think that I have to make the decision quite quickly because it affects like these graphs, and it affects these input selections, and I want to get to the kind of like to sketch those pretty soon. Yeah, other thing that I've been thinking like here since the last stream has been I've been thinking about those let's see, what do I mean? I've been thinking about yeah, like extinction risks in general, like what are the because as it stands now, it can be like pretty difficult to get a grasp of what are we talking about here, like for the lay person, like what is this site about, what is this, what are these, like what's extinction risks and so on, and there are like a lot of these, I would say, like contributing risks for this system, and you could think, like, if you want to think like very simplistically, that like okay, if we have like some level of annual extinction risks, let's go here. Like we have some set of extinction risk, like where does it stem from? Like we could have like for example, like nuclear weapons. We have artificial intelligence. We have like engineered pandemics. We could have like just like cosmic. Let's have just like a cosmic slash natural events. Like these are like, so how probable is it for like a very big asteroid to hit Earth and so on, and then we have like we could just have like other So like very simplistically, you could think, okay, like we put like some probabilities here. Let's say like all of these are 0.5 and there's 0.1. But this is, I think, a little bit wrong way. You cannot really like just sum over these values. But if you could have like these different inputs for each of these, and then they like their sum would like their sum would indicate like what's the like the total extinction risks. But it is a little bit tricky, or not quite like this either. Like you would, I think you would have to go to the root of like having like zero. Okay, having this kind of thing, and uh, uh, you do this kind of, if you have, you multiply this, if this kind of like survival probability from here. Okay, I'm not quite sure, but I think my point is that like this kind of like thinking of summing this over at some or sometime, or like or multiplying their probabilities to get like this cumulative risk probability is a little bit false, because these are kind of like nested risks, and uh, I think like for example, if we have like I think like for example, nuclear weapons can be connected to AI, because the AI may use them as a kind of like as a tool for to cause the extinction event, and uh, so then if we kind of like remove nuclear weapons, we lower this probability somehow to zero, then it will lower the AI's probability as well, because it doesn't have like such like a toolbox, but it could have other tools to kind of like to cause the event and stuff like that, and yeah, and these like for example nuclear weapons and engineered pandemics, they are can be very like correlated, because there's like both are gonna like maybe related to this kind of like great conflicts or whatever uh, between countries, when they will like boost their weapon weapon production and stuff like that. And then you have like I was thinking about like for example climate change here. Uh, you have like it's also it it can lead to conflict. It can lead to nuclear war. It might not like destroy the world itself, but it's kind of like it's hard to kind of like determine like what's the cause of the for example AI too, like it's been like thought to be like a major extinction risk, but uh, does it count as as an extinction kind of like a cause, if or should we mm, count kind of like a tool that the AI is using, or like what's the method how the AI affects reality? Like is it because the AI can like it can also like contribute to like this engineer pandemics or whatever. So yeah, this kind of like thing can be a little bit tricky, and I was thinking like how could you how could I have these how can I sync this total risk to these individual probabilities here, and let's see what's is this from. Okay, yeah. So So I need to formulate somehow. I think you need to, first of all, I think you need to look this you need to get to a position where you can look at these different causes in a manner that is somehow exclusive, or it separates these effects. And I was thinking, like, let's see how I was thinking about formulating this. Uh, so uh, so something like this. So if we removing nuclear uh, weapon. Okay, let's see. I might have had it here. Mhm. Nuclear war prevented. Like, okay, preventing nuclear war, or like preventing nuclear war risks. Uh, okay, let's see. Nuclear. Maybe war can be a little bit. Was also thinking this, that the war can be a bit bad term, because, for example, if it's AI just takes use of nuclear weapons, so that could, like, what's the distinction there? Like, where do you make the distinction? Like, what's a nuclear war and what's like, could we just have and also, like, I think this should be. I was thinking, like, one other thing, like, how do we, if we just have like nuclear weapons, uh, could be like nuclear weapon related, AI related, um, preventing nuclear weapon related. It's a little bit weird. This pen feels a little bit weird now. So preventing nuclear weapon related extinction risks reduces overall by X%. So the user could choose the X here. So I think, like, if I press this like this, and you could replace this here with anything else, so the user could choose. So this would be like a drop down menu. So And they could then choose like what kind of values they think are meaningful here. And I think maybe the like the biggest kind of like benefit of this kind of system is to so that they can send answers to oh come on. Ooh. Okay, send answers to server. So this could help to somehow this could help to I don't know, like get the magnitude of these different uh, like I'm also wondering like, how do I word this? It could be related threats instead of extinction risks. So like where does I'm not quite sure like what's the best way to do this. So okay, then if we have the, for example, the 0.1%, then we could have so if the user like chooses, for example, like 20% here as a value, then we would have like a new risk is 0.0 to 1 multiplied by 0.2, or actually no, multiplied by 0.8. So yeah, that would be a little bit less than that. Yeah, something like 0.17, 17%, something like that, or 0.17%. So I think you could have this, maybe this selection thing, have it between these boxes. So, or actually, and here it would be here where they have it. But it could also, I wonder if it could also be as a, like you could look it as a difference to, could I have these could I have these in same like if it reduces extinction risk by X%, or could I have it like I don't know, can I have like increases reduces risk by 50%. Like, could I have like increases survival probability? And can I make these work together? And what I mean by that, just a minute. Check. Oh, oh, hello, Jalo Streams. I'm using Krita. Krita here. Can I answer here? Yeah, so I'm using Krita, and it seems, I don't know, like I think it's some kind of replacement maybe to some of those Adobe stuff, but I'm not a graphic designer by like I haven't been using this too much, and I don't really know a lot about like different tools either, but I think this is quite widely used. And it kind of like it can be, I think it can be used to like kind of like replace some of the more expensive. I think it has a lot of features, I think, but and I think it might be it's not maybe good at like image manipulation stuff and stuff like that, but I think like this kind of like all kind of like stuff related to drawing and or that's like maybe like the main. I think Canva might also be. I'm not sure. Like I've used Canva a little bit, but not like. Mm, I think it's a little bit different. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. I'm quite bad at like, but this is free at least. Yeah, you could. Yeah, not sure. uh, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I was thinking about the survival probability as some kind of like so if you have preventing nuclear weapon rate and existence risks reduces, or if it, okay, so it could have like a increases survival probability. Can we use like it it doesn't work like this. I think I cannot just say like increases survival probability by 80%, because it would be nice, um, because the point here that I have these two different sets of inputs is that the user can choose what, like, depending on what's their way of thinking, which one do they use. So because if you change this one here, if you change the top row, like the annual extinction risk, then the survival probability is calculated based on that selection. And if you on the other hand, you can also like set the survival probability value, and then it calculates the annual extinction risks. So you can like from the period before based on that choice. So you can choose like whatever, whichever thing. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky like what's kind of like what to choose here. So I think yeah, so the point is that can I have something that also, can I have this system so that it can also fit this survival, or because then it would mean that the user doesn't have to think, can choose like what way to think about this. So let's think like here, if we choose this, it will calculate this again. So and also here, let's see like how much stuff do we need. So we have the original value, then we have like the user can choose the reducted value, and then do we also put the new value here? I think this would also, if we have like, if we need these three different stacks of, or we need this kind of like, because if we have like 0.21 here, and then we have like we have a 20% reduction, and then we have the 0.17% value here. So I'm gonna throw again 0.21, 20%, and then we have 0.17%. So instead of just having the whatever here, like 21% reduction like this one, I would have to stack 3 here, and then I like these would also need, because in terms of like website design now, like we are losing a lot of, we need a lot of like vertical space, and I have kind of like tried to design this overall site so that it would like work in 16:9 aspect ratio, and it would show everything that is needed in one glance. But I think here this all of this stuff here that we're talking about, like using these kind of like sub risks that are contributing to the existential risks, we are yeah, it's optional, like we don't have to use, but it would be like there would be something like this, there's this there would be that you can choose here like choose to put it on or something like that. These I think I would need to make another menu here altogether. So so then the user chooses that if they want it on, and then it would just like change this site a little, so it would this kind of like scroll bar, like a vertical scroll bar, and this would go down so you wouldn't see this, or you could scroll down so that this goes hidden and it shows. So I think like it's not such a necessity to show these both of these graphs at all times. I think it's more to do with like the first impression when the user comes to the site, that they could they could they get the impression of like what's the point of having these two graphs, and yeah, whatever. So it's not so important after that when you go to these sub menus. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's a little bit. It's also like yeah, it can get a little bit messy looking. But I don't know. This could be quite clean. Like we could show like how these two contribute to this value. I could also like write out the like the math behind those. Okay, getting some spam here. Can we do this block list? Can I also test like mhm. Okay, like that. Does it remove the merits? Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. That just kind of like a thing as well. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's put this value a little bit higher. Yeah. So how does this work for the if we have this kind of like let's make a little bit this here. So if we also have the other way to look at this. So we have the let's zoom in a little bit closer. So if we have the 98.80 or something, that's from this, and then instead if we have this, we could calculate the new value. That's just like a little bit lower. It's like just put here like 98.2. But now, what if we want to somehow modify this survival percentage? Like what's the... I don't think you can... yeah, you cannot calculate it as a kind of like a... There's no like a nice way to change this so that it would... so that I could use this. But I would need to have like a... Would it be like increase survival probability chance? So the user could choose how to approach this thing. And if the user can choose, do I want to have it under, do I want to have it included here? Just this, is there, I'm wondering if there are also like some kind of math problems related to this, or maybe not. So there actually might be. So let's think about the case where but I don't know, it gets so if there is a problem, it might be quite convoluted. I'm not sure if we have to sort it out at this point in time. So, what if we have like a, and does it also, I'm thinking like how well does it work anyway? So if we have like a, can we have like an increase in this probability? I'm gonna have a little. Does it work? So how would it work? So increase survival probability. Can we just have like what if the user chooses like so if it increases extinction probability by 20%, I wonder if the kind of like somehow the logical, like let's have it just like a mental, it's like a same kind of like 20%. Let's just look that as kind of like a, it's the same kind of like a same it's a matter of magnitude, I think here. Mm. Uh, Alice, I'm not interested in that. I'm not also sure if that's some kind of spam almost. So uh, maybe I'd like you to remove those links. Yeah, I think that's spam. I think I'm sorry, but I'm gonna consider that as spam now. It's not. Just a minute. Mm. I don't know. Like you did follow me. Not like you do not seem like a regular spam bot also, but it's. I don't think it's. Uh, oh, it says here possible ban evader. Uh, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna at least remove this stuff. Do you do this? Yeah, we just block. Yeah, it seems. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. It's not like a good behavior, at least, to this kind of like unsolicited advertisement stuff. Okay, but let's see. If you have an increase in survival probability of 20%, then you would how would you, is it easy to show in calculus? And do I have to go like, I think I would have to go through still like through the, okay, this gets a little bit tricky for my mind now, but I think I have to go through this like negation process. So if this increases by 20%, increase, let's see, I cannot just multiply it by like 1.2 or something, but I have to go through this. This is the survival. If this is the survival, then the kind of like not survival is 1.2%. If that's like the not survival, and then we have an increase in survival, then we have a decrease in not survival. So the decrease in not survival would be or the result of that would be 0.8 times 0.0012. So from that, so that would be the new like not survival percentage. So and then the new survival percentage is this multiplied. Oh, okay, 1 minus this. And if you want that in the percentages, then you multiply it by 100. So that's kind of like but yeah, it can work like this. I wonder if it's better to. Is there like a is there would it be better to show as it cannot like decrease like I kind of like want to keep if I have these two. I kind of want to keep this kind of like this destruction theme or this extinction theme on these annual values, and then have these kind of like these intermediate values that for different time scales to be so that those are like values at certain point in time, and that they would be the survival instead of like not if the extinction has occurred at that point. Like that's the like well I don't know. It could also be like but I think it would be good to have yeah I don't know what to it could yeah I wonder yeah this is not like a set in stone either yet but okay but you could do this through this way as well. But okay, now if we have this new value here, let's say what value do we have here? We have like so it's increase in chance. So let's say we get something like 99.10. So then this can be used to backwards calculate this, like the change in annual value, and then it could be used to backwards calculate this how much is the change in is the kind of like reduction in annual this annual extinction probability. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Oh. So you could do this both ways, and it could also help in the sense that you could I could have here in visibility settings, let's see, this came into my mind. So visibility menu, let's make a new layer here. So we could have here say it let's see. Yeah, so do we want to show so okay, we have here like annual extinction probability graph, like it's in graph. Maybe this controls it already, so that if you take it, so now we have it, I think we have it by default, we have it, let's actually make it clear. Like by default, we have this on for both values, and we might have one of those on. So then if you click it off, for example, this annual extinction, maybe it also it will take this off and also this graph off, and so the tricky part here is also that it would it kind of like means that this has to have its own space here that gets like a this kind of like a vertical space for a menu that will get removed if that thing is taken off. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, hmm. So okay, we have these changes. I'm still thinking like how should I do this visually? Do I have actually control for this? Here. Yeah. mm, How do I add it here? Like you can have more. It doesn't matter if it has more vertical. Okay, let's actually go take this one here. No. Oh, come on, I was using the let's go menus here. This layer. Take this off. Okay. Okay, now we can go back. Here. We can keep those. Okay. Get the we would need is to have I logged into, you mean like my being on the wrong layer or something? Yeah, I think like yeah, the layer thing. One thing that I would want, like, because I'm dealing now with a lot of like layer stuff, so I think this menu here could be a little bit, I don't know, a little bit like I would like it to be able to, if I have like this kind of big menu here, it can, this is nice that you can have these group layers that I have, like I can hide all of these layers that are in the group, or I can hide like individual layers in the group, but like now if I have them in the group and I can hide them all. But I would like it to have so that maybe there is a thing here that you can do that I could, because this takes so much, there's so much to scroll here that I would like to hide these sub layers if I don't have to hide them from the uh, hide them from this layer menu. Okay. I think there might be a way, but at least I haven't figured it out. Yeah. Oh, that's nice to hear, Chalo. I think this is very nice for drawing particularly. There's like lots of different ways to like build I think the, for example, the UI is very like customizable here. Like you can like order these like menus whatever you want, like and drag them around. I don't want to get too much into that now because I don't want to mess with my system that I have here, but it's like very customizable for your own needs, I think. And yeah, and then there's like you can create this different kind of like a nice little mini menus that are kind of like accessible by like a push of a button. So it's kind of like you don't have to move your cursor far away. Like it's just you can get this kind of like I think this is like a nice menu here. You can get it like, and again you can have like your like favorite brushes here or something like that, and I think this nice like color options here. Yeah, I think it's like a, but yeah, I don't have like experience of like kind of like other like besides like paint or something like that. I don't have a lot of experience with different, but I think this, yeah, it's, I think it's quite used, quite a lot used thing. And yeah, and at least maybe probably like if you're like a drawing centric, I think this is very very good. But it can also do a lot of other stuff as well. So if you need to do, yeah, I don't know, yeah, kind of hard to say. So uh, I've been also like, I don't know if you use tablets. I've been I got like this kind of like drawing tablets some time ago, so it's it makes it a lot nicer. And there was some, I had one difficulties. I had some issue of getting like some kind of, I got now that I have this track option set on my tablet pen button. I couldn't get it so that it would work if I have here for like the tablet button itself. Yeah, but it's, yeah. I don't know what your budget is on tablets, but I recently like upgraded my tablet, but the one I had before was also like pretty good. Like it was uh yeah, I think it is, yeah, I think it's very compatible in general. And but there are some minor hitches, but I think those are like they can be overcome, and they might be kind of like corner cases, like some rare cases that you get some like yeah. But I've been having like again, like I haven't used other tablets besides the Wacom tablets, but they've been nice, and also like I had the also kind of like the for Wacom also they had the I have like this Intuos I think Pro now, but and this is medium, and I think this is kind of like the older version. They recently got like a new model of this, but it's like $400 or something. The new model I got this for $250 or something, but there's this smaller version that is like uh that I had before that was like between $50 and $100. This kind of like it was something like Wacom into a small or something like this. I had the Bluetooth version. It's on the smaller side, but I think it was very good. And it was very like I don't know like how much do you value like if it's compact, but in some sense it's nice that you can have it quite easily on the lap, or kind of like you don't have to have so much space for it in the desk that it's easy to have in. But for precision, I think that's like one thing to consider, like how much precision do you need? Like then the bigger tablet is better, because it can be like, especially if you have to like if it's a small tablet, then you like and you want to make some precise small thing here, then it's very like difficult to for the small tablet side to achieve the precision, maybe, or unless you zoom in a lot, and that this is like one thing. I don't know, like but if you don't have like a budget problems, then I like would consider this Pro, because it's also nice they have this like because like right now I'm zooming with this kind of like they have this kind of wheel thing, so I'm just using my thumb now to zoom around, like I don't have to, but you can, and like the Pro versions, I think they are also the non-Pro versions, they don't have like touch features in a sense. I mean by touch features that you can use your fingers. I could use my fingers like also to zoom, like do like this kind of pinch zoom. I not like really use it here, but I could like so that could be kind of like yeah. But I think I would go like I think the Wacom seems very nice, and they have like very nice software to like customize your inputs or whatever. And I think there are some kind of like they're very like popular, and also I think among professionals as well. So yeah, I would maybe go to YouTube and like look some comparisons between the Pro and non-Pro versions, and the large and bigger and smaller ones, and yeah, I would consider quite a lot like what would be the optimal size, because it's also like if you if you want to do detailed drawing, then the big size is good. But if you want to just do sketching, then the smaller one can be nice, because you don't have to move your hand so much to make some very big big moves on the canvas. But yeah, okay, if you have the budget, yeah, I would consider but the Pro ones, they also have like this, so then I would still take some consideration, like do you want the smaller, the big one? Yeah. Okay, you're a big guy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if how much. Yeah. Yeah. It could be. Yeah, if you want to like kind of like if you want to make maybe precise, and if you have like a room room for the tablet on your desk or on your lap or whatever, then it's maybe I think I would consider medium, like maybe as a default, because I think there are 3 sizes, so I would maybe consider the medium like, but yeah, I don't know. You should check those videos on those and maybe based on that, because yeah. But yeah, nice. But yeah, and what I'm doing here is that this is just like sketching for a website, that so the website in the end it will be made in R software, or it's kind of like programming language. So, but I want to make a like a, okay, let's I'm gonna check it out actually. Uh, so let's, so what I'm having now is so that's the one that I have now, I think. Yeah, and there's like a, I think to this year they had kind of like a newer version of that, which might be better. It's a little bit, because it's new. It can be like something like $400 or something like that. So it's, if you can find the older version, you can get it for cheaper, but it has some, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But this is probably like very popular now, and yeah, and I would also imagine that if you don't like it, you could have a like pretty good resale value stuff, or I don't know, maybe also like depending on where you live. Like for example, in EU we have very good like return policies, that if you're not satisfied with your product, then at least in Finland we have like very good like return policies, that like that's like, it's kind of like no questions asking, at least for a few weeks or something like that, if you're but I'm not like totally sure. I haven't have to do a lot of returns, but yeah, but check some YouTube videos on that as well, and yeah. Yeah, so I was saying that, yeah, I'm just like sketching for a website now, so that like because it takes so much time to do the actual coding, like to place everything. So I kind of like want to have a very good idea of what it's gonna, what do I want to like have for, what kind of like a website do I, where should everything be placed, like by that's very detailed, so I don't have to do, because it takes so much time then, like to make changes after I've done something. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, also maybe about those tablets still, there's still one thing maybe, like there are those tablets that are very expensive, where you kind of like have to screen on the tablet. I think Wacom has those as well, but I'm not sure if there's at least this called Cintiq or something, or I don't know, but they're also like a very big, and so you would be like a throw your, like your pen is pen is like literally throwing where it is, but I don't know, like yeah, that's, I don't know what kind of drawbacks they might also have, and but if you're very much into this, maybe also check those out. Let's see if I can, because I haven't considered them, but yeah, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna like put it like, that's just like for you to check out the Wacom Cintiq, if that could be interesting. like just as the comparison that it's also like, but I'm not sure of, like one thing that I feel a little bit like I wonder how the surface feels on those things because it's also a screen. So so what does it how does it feel on the pen? Because this feels like pretty nice. So I wonder if it's as good or is it kind of like a slippery or something like that. If it's if the if the desk is if it's also kind of like a because it has to be a little bit like a touch screen type thing, and touch screens they can be a little bit like a I don't know, but yeah, that's something maybe to consider if you have a if it's like a really they're expensive and of course I'm not sure like but it is could be nice. Hmm. Uh, yeah, okay, yeah, I was thinking about this how would I have the on the menu here. um, have so I would have you could choose it from here down somewhere uh, additional menus. uh, like something like contributing risks or something like that, some kind of menu like that. So then if you have that menu selected on mm, okay, yeah, that's nice to hear, Chalo. That yeah, thanks for the compliment and nice if you got if you found what you're looking for and you can because that's also always like what I often get this kind of like when I spend a lot of time like thinking about how what kind of tool do I need to buy or something like that. So so it's good if you if you manage to find it so quickly. And I did some studying, but it's not something that I'm too familiar with. But yeah, I did some studying before I did buy this stuff. Mm. Yeah, but it's so if you have the menu open, then I would just have like add another of these blocks. I wonder, is it difficult now to add because I have this canvas size chosen. Like how easy it is in Krita to kind of like add more canvas to this existing canvas that I have. Um, hmm, I'm like 100% sure that it is possible, but I'm not sure if I want to go to the menus to look up how to find it. But I would, and I also wonder how could you do it with layers somehow? Because if I want to make this into a PowerPoint presentation, then I would need to have that, or maybe I don't, maybe I could have it all the time on here. Like if I just add here, but then I would just need to, I would need to just, like how easy would it be to, like if I want to, because I wouldn't know how to do this in the programming language, but if I want to, this segment, if I want to move this downwards in this canvas, like how easy it is to do that, I'm not sure. Okay, I think it's I think it's doable. Yeah, I think I have any. I think I know how. I just because there's this selection tool or whatever here. Just take that. Okay, maybe I'll just try it out. I'm not gonna like commit to it too much, but so if I do like this, and then I have this one. Yeah, you can do it. It's not not an issue actually. And I could have it as a copy, so I could make this as a copy, so I don't have to think about like removing it or like mm, kind of like playing around with it. But if I maybe I just like or if I don't want to make it into a copy, can I just have could I have some kind of just some like position things there. This is what I'm not really still not so used to that if I have this kind of selection on that how to get the selection off. Okay, I managed. But it would be nice if wait a minute. Like if I make changes to this one so that hmm, like yeah, maybe one thing with these layers is that I wonder if it's possible to make some kind of like somehow like dynamic layers or layers that if I make a copy of this layer now, um, so let's say copy layer. Okay, it's actually okay, paste layer. Okay, now it comes here, but now it becomes independent of this layer. So if I make changes to this layer, then they don't apply to this new layer. So what I would want to do is that I would want to have I would want this layer to only be affecting the position of this, like have it make it portion so that it's. But if I make changes to this original layer, I would want them to apply to this new layer as well, which is just like positioned differently for like a different slice. So I wonder if there's like it's probably like some kind of like option where it is possible to do that, but I don't know, some kind of mm, some kind of like mm, mm, or maybe I don't know, some kind of like just could I have like because you have this layer types, could there be some kind of no like how there's how could you make new layers that are not like so that they are not like just independent of that, but I don't know if it's possible. And if it's not, then I will just finish the layer first, and then I will just make a copy of it later or something. It's a little bit tricky. Yeah, but okay, we've been procrastinating with this problem a little bit now. Um, Let's see. Mm, mm. Yeah, so if the user chooses to have this contributing risk, then we have a maybe drop-down menu here where you can choose like choose risk, or maybe actually this choose risk. Okay, it could be here as well, and then it just shows here, or maybe you can choose it in both places, because I will have to write it out here in any case because it makes it clear. So so it should be just something like preventing AI AI existential threats. Okay, lowers. I wonder if I could use, like, it would be nice if I could use this uh, lower term in both cases, so that because it would be nice so the user can choose again with the, then we have the new one here. Let's see, we're gonna have 3. Yeah, the thing here, I think I have to go back to think about like how much horizontal space are these gonna take? Because if I want to fit, it would be nice if I could in like overall just have we have here the survival probability, so that it would be here at the same level, because if I have to have 2 options more here, then if this stays here and I would have these 2 more selection boxes and it overlaps, because this was lower before, so that doesn't overlap if it takes a lot of horizontal space. So now it kind of like loses that benefit if I have a lot of these, unless it goes. Oh well, it was about what I was talking before, that we just add a lot more vertical space here, so this graph goes lower, but it's just a waste of space, because it's so much empty space here, so much empty space here. So I'm not sure if this works, or like what's the smart way to do this. Yeah, I'm from Finland. Mm. Where are you from? But it's uh, but I had the thing here is that I want to have a lot of decimals, because these amounts of decimals that I have here in the sketch, it's kind of like very low. So I want to have but okay, I'm starting to think like how much do I like I want to have at least like 5 numbers. I think that was what I was thinking. So 97 blah blah. the amount of numbers here, there's like a trade-off here also, like, okay, there's few trade-offs here, like what's the, yeah, thank you so much, Jalo. This was very, like, I don't have lots of interactions in my streams, or haven't streamed a lot, so this was very like motivating, and it was very nice if you got some graphical design or tablets stuff from here. Okay, yeah, okay, nice to hear. Yeah, there, New York quite a busy place. A lot of people, a little bit different here. Yeah, you have a very nice day as well, and maybe see you sometime. So yeah, it's gonna. So you want to have a lot of precision with these how to say, these numbers, because there's gonna be some very low probabilities. I want to make it possible to have like very low probabilities. So especially if you go into very far future, you if we gonna like, or if we gonna like reach this state that we are in like multiple planets or whatever, and then we have a lot less danger from all kind of cosmic events. So like all the asteroid stuff and stuff like that. It's if you think about just Earth, you can like calculate the probability for those asteroid events, but if you are for but if we are, let's say we are in a different star system, then it's kind of like it I think that essentially becomes zero, these probabilities for because we are in two places, and if we can manage to be in two places, we can manage to be in three places quite easily after that. If we can get to from planet A to planet B, like this is Earth. So if we can get to planet B, we can also get to planet C and planet D quite easily, because we have like gotten the technology for that already, because we have managed to get. Okay, it might be harder to get to planet B, but I think it's kind of like very. It has this kind of compound effect. So that makes it that the probability for any kind of like natural events is very small, and also it's very small for this kind of like anthropogenic antro well, what's the anthrop I don't, but this kind of man-made risks, it's also very small, because for example like these nuclear war scenarios, because we are in multiple planets, it gets a lot smaller. I don't know, yeah, but yeah, it's like, for example, here if we have one, if we have 0.0001, it's like 1 in, okay, yeah, I don't, this is like 1 in a million or something like that per year, or yeah, it's very, but it can be, or 1 in 100,000 or something like that, but it's very small chance, but it should be even lower. And okay, I started to think about this vertical space thing here, like how much vertical space do we need? because here I also want to have this, as I was talking about, like what do you understand if you see this percentage, like what does it mean actually? Because this is like so if you have like 0.1%, that's like 1 in 1,000. And you get more decimals, and you get this. So it's good to have like this kind of like alternative expression as well. So that takes some vertical space. So do I need it to have? This doesn't take more vertical space in that case. But this one here, it would take more vertical space, I think. So yeah, it's let's think. But if I have it here, it might be enough that I have it in either one. Well, could I have it both? But it's just it's taking more vertical space, so it would be nice if I can fit these. Let's see, I might have some sketches of these inputs, so I could check out here. Yeah, these are, because this was thinking about like how to have these sizes, like what's like a relevant size and what can be visible if it's zoom out. So here we have about 9%, and I think I do need to have that percentage number there as well, so it gets how much space do we need? So if you have here, so okay, let's look at these two inputs, because these are just so can we have them side by side? Okay, here we have okay, I would need to manage to show that I can fit 3 of these side by side, because so the center, so this and this would have to be okay here. Put 1 right in the center, like that. So yeah, there's already like some overlap, but I think I could make this a little bit smaller, and it could still be quite like, so it's like usable for as a website. I think that's a little bit hard for me actually to understand, like where do we go too small. But I think here in the left hand side, these are quite okay, like these font sizes for the user. And I think now these here, they are might be even smaller than that, so, or might be even bigger than that, so they have like, they can be a little bit smaller. So let's see, we have here now 5 decimals. So if I just make it a little bit smaller, and there's I think there's also some empty space there, which is not so necessary. So I think this could be okay to make. Like I'm just thinking like how easy it is to get these uh, to be at same height, and are there also like what are the downsizes for that? So let's hide that for a while and let's go back here. Um, what was the one that we were working on? Yeah, it was this one. It's looking very messy now, but uh, so the thing is, I think we can fit those. We can fit those like that. So that helps with the vertical spacing a lot, but there's also the problem of if I want to have those. Did I have those calculations there? Let's just hide this again. Hide that one and look at these inputs. Okay, here. Yeah, here I have like because like you see this one here, there's so much space needed because it gets to very like you have to have the previous probability, you have to take this from here and then you have to put it in the power of how many years are still to come. So there's so much stuff there that I think it's a little bit hard to understand. So let's see. But and I think it's the same thing also. Okay, I can have these numbers here. It doesn't matter if they're in a smaller fonts because it's also something that the user cannot select. But these ones, it's a lot more tricky. A lot more tricky. Well, I would need this one maybe. Uh, hmm. It could also be something that the user only sees if they click something. So maybe I can figure out some kind of other kind of solution there. But it is easier to have these if they are at different level. But well, I don't need to have this for. I only need to have this for. Do I have? I could leave some. I could have it here like this. Uh, What if I have? What if I have this one up here? So like thinking maybe I should Okay, we can do it here. mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I think I've had like some very good reasons why I want to keep this at different heights, but uh, this I think this is also the problem because I've been doing this project. I've been having like quite long breaks from this project every once in a while, so it's I forget like why did I do some choices that I've made, so it's kind of annoying that now and like not like now I'm figuring out like why this is a bad idea, or I don't know. But it's also could be good to if you get to look at some stuff with fresh eyes and stuff like that. Um, 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 yeah, the calculation, like, could I have, if I have this, could this offer some kind of, is this like some kind of way to show this math easily? Like, let's say if I don't have these things here, if I have them like up here instead, that would give me space here, like we have here, we have the old one, we have the old survival probability, like the colors are all wrong now, you just have to think about this. What's these numbers that are at the same spot as these bars, they are the survival probabilities, and these are the extinction probabilities. So this is extinction, and this is survival. So let's say, and this is again survival. So it's like every other one is survival and every other is extinction probability. So how does it? So how could I? If I have here and I need to get to here, so if this number would be the result of this number and this number, how should I show it over there? Actually, I wonder if I could have it under this one as well. I think it would, in any case, it would have to take kind of like I would have to reserve like a whole of this. Like I have here, it's gonna have to take like a whole row of this stuff. So thinking like, well, there's like a last value here. There's like a, so let's say we have a like a previous calculation here. So the calculation takes as the input the previous value. And okay, maybe I will try to think about now also the case that there is Let's think. So what if because if I have this probability change, then it takes even more space. But it would just be a different. So if we have at this level, we have a change. Just thinking like how it also like if I have here that I'm thinking like this almost all of this, and it also like cuts through this. Like if there's these things that take so much space, then hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's hard to then have those values below here. So we have let's say we have here we have the contribution that something reduces the risk. Okay, this is also makes it hard to have if I don't have the vertical difference. Like if I have here kind of like description of like whatever we have the preventing AI threat reduces. Okay, and now we have like reduces annual X risk by, and then you could choose how much it. This is also like one thing. Like, what's the does it work? Does this kind of like line of thinking work through different time scales? Like one just like mm, let's take an example. Like, what are there like some of I don't have the risk now here. Like, what are which one of those are gonna like maybe more of short term? Well, I think climate change is good example. I think like in 200 years, if we have survived until okay, or in 1000 years, if we have survived until year 3000, uh, then we have stopped climate change if we have survived until then. So that means, or we have somehow managed uh, to have it so that it doesn't cause damage to us because we have survived there. So it doesn't contribute as much to the overall extinction risk back like over there anymore. So it so that's why it is good. It would be good to have possibility to make that choice that if we have here the like a reduction percentage, so it's like 20% reduces the risk by 20%, and so here in the long run it would reduce the risk by like only by like maybe like 0.5% or something like that, but something like a lot lower. So yeah, so that's why that's important, and that causes the problem that we have the text here, So this needs to make connection here, and that's okay if there's nothing in between here, but if we have this kind of systems that these survival probabilities and extinction probabilities are side by side, then also these modifiers that will affect either of these, they would also have to be like side by side. And then this doesn't, like, if you have the text here that like it reduces annual extinction probability or whatever, it doesn't apply for I would have to have the text also that it or like increases survival probability, and then it gets like, if I have both of those texts in here, it makes it a lot harder to understand. But I wonder if I could have the text here, or does it take too much? Uh, increases like here, just like a increases survival by this. Then it would be nice if there was no, we could have like decreases, increases, decreases. Yeah. Could I just have like a increases by, like that would take some vertical space, but increases by, or actually it, yeah, we have some same kind of X% decreases by, decreases so here, then it would I don't need more explanation here, I think. I don't need it would just give us a new one. Thing. I was like thinking like, could I have some kind of wording here so that it could be applied to both of those? And also, like, how much problem does this cause for not having I don't know. Okay, here I could use like colors. No. Or survival. Yeah, this is kind of tricky as well. Or could I have it here? It's just like, I'm a kind of torn between these different ways of doing this now. There's like some pluses and like pros and cons to both of these ways of doing, and I'm not really sure how to. Yeah, I wonder if I have really, how much progress have I actually made, because this is just like figuring out the same stuff. Let's see if I had here. Did I have here some other stuff that I hadn't? I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, like here. Yeah, this is showing how it's kind of like nice to have them in two different heights, so it helps. It helps. Yeah, it helps with this here on the left with this labeling on what you are doing. I also wonder if this might not help any problems or help solve anything, but here. Okay. Oh, you can have you can have subgroups under the subgroups. And there was actually I saw now that this was something I thought before. You can hide. You can create this kind of hiding. But how do I get this arrow to here? Okay, it's here. Yeah, you just have to press here. I'm gonna hide some stuff actually now. Just press here. Hide these menus. Yeah. Hide this menu. Yeah. How much if that helped too much? This was we can hide this one. But this one. Check later menu. Yeah, we can hide it. Yeah, it's a lot more manageable now. Okay. Let's take it. What was I thinking? I was thinking about something here. Okay. Yeah, if this goes here. Yeah, it's harder to. Yeah, the point was that it's harder to. Well, I think the color cues are still quite helpful, like distinguishing between these extinction probabilities and also the uh, survival probabilities. So they could be on the same line. It's not such a big. But yeah, the one thing that I now thought about is that well, this is the problem. Doesn't depending on whether they're on the same line or not, but if we have this new probability that comes as a result here, then how do I bring it? Because that's then the, well, I could have the two, I could just have, I think that was the idea, that I would just have two different lines here. So this is with the lower one and the other one is with the higher. And the same goes for the survival probabilities, that I will just have two different ones. Okay. So here we get that one. So two here. And let's see what was. Yeah, there was the. I think that if we have something that takes this much space here, and then we have this calculation. We have like this calculation going on. Then we have another calculations. Because if we have below here, we have well, these can be hidden. But do I want them to have beyond by if there's like so much information going on. I'm gonna oh, I don't need arrow from here to here maybe. But I think I would want to have here a calculation on how we manage the new, how do we get to the new probability? That we take the old probability, so that also links it to the old one, so it makes it easy to understand. Then it goes to here. This and then I want to also have here the like the kind of like odds ratio. I want to have those both in here as well. So all of that is, but it does, I don't think it's, I don't think I should worry about it too much, that it gets a little bit more complex with these longer time intervals, or that it are more complex with these additional options. But yeah, okay, let's. So maybe to take away from this right now for me is that I shouldn't worry too much about if this kind of like obscures all of the, if this calculation here takes a lot of space or not. But I just have, because it would make it, the calculation nice that I have Okay. I think I'm gonna end for now and have another stream at some point. I'm not sure. Maybe this weekend at some point. Maybe. See. Okay. Thank you. Bye.